Oh, I had the sound on here. Oh, it sounds creepy as all hell.
It does. You know what? That's kind of a scary song. Like, that song is, like, creepy.
I mean, I think it's a beautiful song, but...
Well, I think it's fucking scary.
I mean, I guess...
Or, like, sad. It's, like, sad.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to a live end of the year special episode of Ringside.
Yeah.
Wow. It's the end of the year and we're all feeling in a silly, goofy mood, as they say.
Well, I'm just sleepy. I'm sleep deprived.
Yeah, well, I think that has a lot to do with what we did last night. Kendra, you want to tell the people what we did? We want to maybe show the people what we did.
Well, we went to SmackDown. The last SmackDown of the year.
Yeah.
And we got to see a lot of great matches.
Yeah.
Including John Cena and Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns and Sami Uso.
Sami Uso, that's right.
Once in a lifetime match. And I was very happy to see.
Yeah, it was awesome, you know, kind of talking about some of our adventures and experiences this year. I mean, what an awesome way to just kind of end the year. And yeah, we got to see a ton of really great matches. You know, Solo Sikoa and Sheamus. We had the women's championship match with a surprise return there. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the main event of the night was Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and John Cena. And y'all, we went to Raw earlier and we heard some pretty great pops. There's nothing quite like hearing either the pop for Roman Reigns or really the pop for John Cena.
It was crazy.
Oh, I was going crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Y'all know how crazy I get here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of speaking a little lower because my throat's a little hoarse.
Charlotte said, "Not on my watch." We'll talk about that return a little bit more because I have some feelings about it. Positive feelings, but I just know I want to talk about it a little bit further.
Yeah.
But I feel like we'd be remiss to not talk about the biggest match of the night first.
Yeah. I mean, it was so cool. It was like the last 15 minutes of the show or something like that.
Yeah, and John Cena only wrestled for 5 minutes.
Right. Which is, you know what? He's John Cena. He doesn't need to do more than that.
He didn't need to come back at all.
He came in.
He did that for me.
Did the hits, the highlights, and then dipped.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. But yeah, just getting to experience that. And what was really cool is in front of us there were kids.
Yeah. There's always like a lot of kids.
There's always a lot of kids, but also like they were so happy, and it was just so cool seeing them.
Create a core memory
right
in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
When I was 10, I went to see John Cena.
That's what I was telling you, and I might have mentioned this on stream before. I saw John Cena at a house show at a live event like 20 years ago in Daytona Beach. So it was super cool to 20 years later, and he can still do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It's just like a full circle moment, getting right back back into wrestling relatively recently.
Yeah.
And getting to see him was really, really special. And I just kept hearing that, as we were walking through the arena, hearing people say, like, telling their kids and telling their other person that they were with, like, man, that was such a special moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't help but just agree.
Especially because I know that's crazy.
Whoa. Hold on.
If you could sell memories, damn, you'd be rich.
He said, I licked the screen when
I did also see that. I decided to breeze past that one. I could smell his sweat.
That was an awesome match too.
That was crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. We lucked out because we bought our tickets months and months and months ago when like Riddle was like the big person that they were advertising
right
for the show. So we got like pretty great seats at a good price. And then months later, they're like, oh, by the way, Roman Reigns is going to be there.
Right.
Oh, by the way, John Cena is going to be there. So when we got to our seats, I was telling John in the car afterwards, I was like, I was trying so hard not to cry. Because if I started crying, John was going to bawl.
Right.
And we were talking about how, like, when we were kids, like, if we got the opportunity to go to something like that at all, I would have been in the nosebleeds.
Right.
Because, like, we didn't have that close to stage money. So it was, like, truly, like, a once-in-a-lifetime, like, thing to see someone so huge,
right.
so close, in like your hometown too. That's cool. We didn't have to like fly to see them cross a bridge.
And it was cool. We also heard, like, when we were waiting to get into the arena, we heard people talking about how this was their first
time in Tampa.
Yeah, the first time in Tampa, their first WWE show.
People were like, "Oh yeah, I went sightseeing in Tampa." First of all, do better. You can do better than that, but. Like, beautiful places all around Tampa. But it was just so bizarre to think about, like, wow, this is, like, it was a big moment for us. But to think, like, wow, this is a big moment for a lot of people. Like, people flew in. People drove in to see this specifically.
Right.
Tickets were going for, like, thousands of dollars. It was insane.
Yeah, and it's not even, like, we're balling like that. But, like, we got very lucky when we bought the tickets.
Yeah. They weren't that expensive when we got them because we didn't know. Now we're kind of the same height. Sorry. Okay, John got a new camera for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
For my sister. Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks, Nikki.
And when I tried to set it up, it almost looked like he had a beauty filter on. So if John is looking smooth and poreless, it may or may not be a filter. We have to figure out.
I could just have immaculate skin.
He does have pretty great skin, but just like if
also,
he looks a little cartoony, that's why.
I do want to shout out. I'm not ignoring you, Taekwon. Well, I'm ignoring some of what you said, but I acknowledge you, my friend.
John sells Flintstone vitamins to 6-year-olds on the side, like loose ones in little baggies. Do they even still make those?
I hope so.
Do you remember those chewable vitamins? They were fucking disgusting.
Well, when you were a kid, anything that tasted remotely like candy was great.
My rich friend would have gummies, like gummy vitamins, because those are even now still fucking expensive.
Wow. Did you go to school at Buckingham Palace?
I didn't, but she might as well have. But I would go to her house and I would eat them like gummy bears. And her mom had to be like, hey, you can't eat 10 in one sitting. You're supposed to only eat one at a time. And I said... Miss ma'am, if the Lord can see me to it, he can see me through it, and I'll be fine.
My God.
If he says I can, I will. And he did.
But anywho, that was an awesome match. And I'm sure I know for a fact it's making the rounds now on Twitter and TikTok. But, John Cena cut a pretty passionate promo after. It was less of a promo and more of just like it was
just talking. We were off air.
Yeah. So. He just thanking the fans for an awesome 20 years and things like that. So it was a really, really cool moment to be a part of. And yeah, it was definitely a much needed bright spot, especially as a way to end the year. It was awesome.
Finger in the back for research. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to withstand any research because it's a foam finger.
Yeah.
So it's foam. I was playing with my hair because I don't know if you guys know this, but situations like a big stadium event make me very nervous. I almost had a panic attack. Backwards. But I didn't. I know. That's purposeful. Oh, okay. I almost had a panic attack, but I didn't. Thank you. But I was like, to like calm myself down, I was like patting my hair, but I was like patting right on my boob. And I was like, people think I'm being weird. People think I'm being being nasty in this, but I was just playing with my hair. Anyway, so like you can use it for that, but I wouldn't recommend trying to use it for anything else.
Anyway, I mean, we can talk up and down the card. There was a dark match we saw at the beginning. There was a dark match of the event.
And
before we talk about the actual match, hey, I want to give a shout out to the crew over at the Amalie Arena in Tampa. Appreciate y'all. There's a shit ton of people there, and y'all made sure everyone was getting in and out safely. And
well, here's the thing, actually.
But we have some notes, and I don't know if this is for the Amalie or if this is for WWE or a little bit of both.
Mr. Amalie, I believe. First of all, how are you gonna have 2 merch stands and that's it, and not have the same stuff at both? The lines were astronomical, and then they decided to wait to let people in until like an hour?
Maybe, yeah,
about an hour before the show. So you had an hour to get in. People had already formed very long lines to like go through security and do tickets. And then like we needed to get water because they threw out my water, and I have to have water or I have panic attack. So I had to get water. I had to go to the bathroom. And then we waited in the merch line. And by the time we got to our seats, we had maybe 10 minutes.
Right.
And like there were people behind us in line. Like we were like middle of the line. Well, kind of.
Right.
But like it just doesn't make any sense to me. If you want people to spend money at your arena or on your merchandise, why would you wait so long to let people in? Why wouldn't you have more opportunities, more places for people to buy stuff? Why wouldn't you be having like 6 people per merch stand to sell stuff? They had like 3 or 4. That was stupid.
Yeah. They could have totally had someone with like an iPad, like, you know, that could stand off to the side and they just go grab the merch after you know, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, not to sound like a fucking Karen or anything, but
no, but I felt bad because what the fuck?
The fucking comment that Taekwon left.
I did see my brother Ricochet. I saw my brother Ricochet fucking nail Gunter in the forehead
with a fucking
steel chair. Whoops. Anyway, so yeah, it's not that I was like mad at the people working.
Sure. No.
It was just frustrating because I know that there are people in line behind us for all of these things. Like you said before, people like came from very far away to see this show. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. They didn't have the merch stands open after the show or any food, which is also stupid. But like if you didn't want to miss the show, you needed to be in the merch line to buy whatever or get your food or whatever. Like you had to be very quick to walk, like run to those places. Right. So I felt bad for people because I know that there are people who didn't want to miss the show, but really wanted merch, but couldn't do both. And that's ridiculous.
So I love seeing the caramel people win. Amen. Now I saw Samantha Irvin.
Yeah, very close up. There was one point where someone, who was it? Braun Strowman, like went through the barricade, and I was like, "Where's Samantha?" I didn't see where she went. Thought she got crushed.
Yeah.
She was fine.
I'll say. But yeah, so I mean, I got this nifty little shirt because it was like even the last Tampa Bay shirts didn't look like this.
No, they were like black.
Yeah, these were like special edition ones, and I was like, well, yeah, it's also got the Stone Cold skull on the back, so that's pretty cool.
I got foam finger.
But here's the thing. I would have bought a hat.
Would have bought a hat if it was
I'm a big fan of hats, but they didn't have it at the...
They had it at the... There's like one merch stand like the big one, when you first walk into the stadium.
That one was
naturally
nuts.
It was insane how many people were in that fucking line. So, yeah, I saw. So we had to walk to a different one and they didn't have it. And then they have like a really smart idea. They have like mobile ordering basically from your seat, but not everything is available on that either. So like what the fuck is the point? Anyway, so I'm upset.
We're headed in the right direction.
Hello.
Y'all. Those are some of our notes. Would have happily spent a little more money. Also, yeah, I don't know why. Like, if you would have opened the doors quicker, they had a PDQ in that bitch.
We would have gotten food for sure.
I would have gotten some PDQ, some chicken tendies.
Cookie.
You kidding me?
But we didn't have time, so we couldn't.
So, anyway, we could talk a little bit about the card, though. There was a dark match at the beginning. We saw a tag team match. We saw Liv Morgan team up with Tegan Knox to go against Xia Li. I was happy to see her, although she was in braids. That was interesting. She didn't look bad. But it was just,
SmackDown last night. We went to SmackDown live.
And then... of course, Xia Li's tag partner was none other than Daddy herself, Sonya Deville.
John leans over and he was like, "Should I call her Daddy?" And I was like, "You know what? Her wife's right there. Like I saw her wife." Maybe.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah. Well, and how did you recognize that was her wife?
Listen, so they were showing this woman in the audience like multiple times on the like cameras. I did. I looked to John and I was like, "She wearing braids?" I'm not gonna tell her not to. She would kick my ass. So I'm just going to sit here and just question from afar.
That's the rudest thing anyone's ever called me.
You think we're in the front? You think we have front row money? That's very nice of you. See, here's the thing. I saw a woman with jet black straight hair.
Decked in leather.
And I was like, why do they keep showing this woman? And then Sonya Deville comes out and I'm like, oh, that woman looks just like Sonya Deville that must be her wife. If you've ever seen Sonya Deville's wife, she looks just like Sonya Deville. I mean, I look like John, kind of. So I get it. No one's more beautiful than yourself.
And that was a pretty good match. You know, especially when you consider didn't even know it was going to happen.
Didn't know it was going to happen. They were performing just for us.
Right.
Not for like a camera. Liv Morgan is... I don't even understand how she can scream so goddamn loud. In a loud, packed arena. Her voice fucking carried. She was screeching.
But it was pretty good. Yeah. It was a good way to kind of get people, you know, excited, ready for the show. Mm-hmm. And I initially heard that SmackDown didn't really do dark matches, so I don't know how true that was, but I wasn't expecting one. I
kind of figured that
until I saw that the start time was 7:45. I was like, oh, they're doing a thing. Titus O'Neil came out before the broadcast started,
and he said, "Let's fucking go."
Yeah. Did he say fucking?
No, he said freaking. A lot of kids in the audience.
Were you behind the hard cam?
I think so. We were facing where they would.
They kind of play out too.
Yeah, we weren't behind them to where like you could see us in the broadcast. We were in front of them.
But we were super close to like I call it the stage manager section, because that's essentially what they are. But like the production folks who are like controlling the camera,
monitoring all of the camera feeds and like switching between them.
Yeah,
they were watching football the entire time. I think. Did he come to Raw too?
He was at Raw, but he was on the broadcast for that one as well.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, and I mean, he lives here, so
a lot of people who live here show up. Apparently, Batista was there.
Batista was backstage. We didn't see him, obviously, but I saw on
us.
Social media. I hope not. Or maybe, you know what? He could have been sitting right next to us and was standing so still that he was invisible.
Maybe.
No, but that was cool. And then we had. Who'd we have started? Oh, we got to see Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, we got to see Bray Wyatt started the show. And we got to see fucking Uncle Howdy live, which is something I never want to see ever again. That was fucking scary. My heart's going pitter patter, pitter patter.
So Batista is a better actor than Iron Man. So I'm assuming you're talking about The Rock. I like The Rock's movies. At least what I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend like I've seen all of his movies.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of who he is as a person. Well, at least as a figure. As an actor, though, I agree. I think Batista is a fantastic actor. If you haven't watched Glass Onion, watch Glass Onion.
I fucking can't stand LA Knight.
I like him. I think he's funny.
It's so nice to have someone to hate, though. Just like, fuck, I can't stand this guy. Because normally, like, even the bad guys, I'm like, I kind of like that guy.
Sure.
Like Ludwig Kaiser. I love that man.
Love Ludwig.
No, it was funny because like
we were the only people.
When they came out, we were like, wow, we were the only people. And I'm looking around and nobody's clapping. And I was like, John, why is no one clapping? Like, this is who I came to see, Ludwig Kaiser.
There were a couple what chants. I don't think we partook.
I don't think I partook in the what chants or the woo birds. Fucking
the woo birds were out of control.
They started before we got into the stadium. When we were lining up outside, they were wooing.
So for those of you who have not watched, who are kind of new here, the woo birds are before the show.
During the show.
Sometimes even during the show, but a lot of times before the show, someone will start the Ric Flair woo, and then all of a sudden starts a chain reaction.
In surround sound. No. No, maybe. I don't. There might be some overlap, but no, it's just because it's like this huge stadium, especially when people aren't like filling it yet. Yeah, I know. It's just like echoes.
Right.
And it sounds like birds.
And so people typically do it once they're in the stadium, but it took so goddamn long to get in that people just started doing it outside. And so yeah, they were going fucking nuts.
I hate birds.
So that was fun.
But yeah, I hate LA Knight.
I like it. I think he's funny. I'm excited to see. I don't know what this pitch black match is going to be. Yeah. I'm excited for that though.
That'll be interesting.
Uncle Howdy, yeah, terrifying. Came in, pulled a fucking Sister Abigail.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm on your side." He's British. I'm on your side, mate.
I don't think he's...
No, because we've heard him talk. But then he turned.
Yeah.
On himself. I'm still not sure who this man is.
He said, revel in what you are, young man.
Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc is Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy. It's being refereed by Vin Diesel.
Oh my God. Could you fucking imagine? That's a solid reference.
I didn't get it.
It's one of those Chronicles of Riddick movies.
Have you seen The Pacifier? Loved that film.
Anyway. But yeah, so it was cool seeing him. I wanted to be like, yo, Bray, remember that time we met at Target? But he wouldn't have heard me. He also might not have remembered. But, I don't know, he seems like a stand-up guy. Maybe he would have. He would have been like, oh yeah, you helped me find the mask, right? Like, that was me.
You were creating a false narrative in your head.
I know. Wishful thinking.
But no, so that was cool to see him. It's cool to be like in it with the lights down and everyone's phones out.
Right.
It's cool participation.
Kendra, shit like that is why I make fun of your taste. The fucking pacifier.
Listen,
it's from Taekwondo.
I watched it when I was a little baby. Watched it when I was a little kid. Please give me some slack.
I'm trying to think of what other matches happened. I mean, obviously we had Solo and Sheamus. That was a good match.
That's the one I had a panic attack during.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the end of that.
Yeah.
The beginning was good.
I'm sorry?
I said the beginning of that match was good.
Yeah. And it was cool seeing Drew McIntyre return.
Yeah.
That wasn't expecting to see him.
Wasn't he injured?
He was injured.
Yeah.
He had the same injury as Roman Reigns, actually, coincidentally.
Ruptured
eardrum. Speaking of, shout outs to AJ Styles, who suffered a broken ankle at a live show. So he'll be out for a hot minute. But luckily, they said no surgery is going to be required.
Okay.
So hopefully he's just, needs to heal up. I don't know if he'll pull a John Cena and make a quick recovery in time for the Rumble. But we'll see.
Who was after that? That was the women next?
I think the women's match was right after.
And that was really cool because...
Yeah, it was interesting because you were out for a little while.
Yeah.
For I think the beginning of the match.
I came back, I think pretty early on though.
Right. But even pretty early into the match, I don't know if you're here for this, and I don't know if you could hear this on the broadcast, but there were some chants that were this is boring.
I heard a little bit of that.
And I'm like, here's the thing. I can see why they'd say it. Now go with me. I can see why they'd say it because at the beginning of the match, it was just kind of Ronda dominating.
Right.
But I'm like, y'all, it's a championship match. There's going to be like a through line. You got to just let it, like any great story, let it play out.
Like everything else, people are impatient.
And
also people aren't willing to give women's matches the same chances of like building the intensity as they do men. And
I know Ronda kind of has the fans divided right now. Some really love her, some really don't. Mm-hmm. I thought last night was one of her better showings. I thought she had I thought the match was dope. Being there, the match was good.
All the times where she wasn't on the mic.
John thought the chants against Raquel.
I don't think. See here, when I hear those chants, I don't think they're directed towards Raquel. I think it's Ronda Rousey that people think is boring, and I understand that.
Right.
Like you said though, towards the end of that match, she was getting like more excited and like talking shit, which she usually does. But there was one time where it was like the last time she was on the mic. And she like tossed the mic away, and this person behind us was like, "I love you, but don't put her on the mic again."
Oh,
and
I didn't even hear that.
Shit! It was like so upset, but I get it.
Yeah,
she's just like, I don't know. She's just not like.
Well, she realistically, she has not had much time in WWE because
that's true.
Soon after she started, she got injured, and she's I don't know. So, but I thought the match itself was pretty good. Mm-hmm. And also speaking a little bit about Raquel, listen, I knew this woman was this beast of a woman, and I mean that in the best way possible. She's like, she's
tall and she's strong.
Yeah, I did not realize just how large that woman was.
She's very tall.
And I was like, "Mommy, Raquel, fuck Ronda, Raquel."
A strong mommy, and I'm still not a fan of Raquel. Here's the thing: I thought Raquel was going to take it, I wouldn't have been mad at that. Yeah,
I truly thought she was going to win the match. And I can at least appreciate she has. I like the push she's got going on because it seems steady. It's not like they're just forcing her into something.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what Raquel does in the new year. And yeah, maybe I'm a little biased, but you know what? It's fine.
I don't think you're biased.
But I thought the match was dope, but it was immediately following the match, which was the crazy part.
Yeah. speaking of not letting Ronda speak again, they truly didn't let her speak again.
Right.
Because immediately it got so bright. And I said, oh, God, what is this light? Is that the Lord? Is this the rapture? No, it's Charlotte Flair.
Close enough.
She has returned. We thought she was going to come back in, what was that? Something was in Charlotte. I can't remember if it was a pay-per-view or if it was like a SmackDown, whatever. But it was in Charlotte, and I was like, oh, this is going to be it. She's going to come back. And that's when Nikki Cross came back.
Right.
And we were like, oh.
We're like, what the fuck?
Okay. But yeah, so I wasn't expecting her to come back at all, especially this close to the Rumble, because if anyone's making a return, I would expect it to be there. So it was quite a nice surprise. She has new theme music, and she didn't stop to do her whole thing. She didn't wear her queenly attire.
Yeah, she's got a whole new look,
right?
Whole new like kind of package.
Right, and at the end, after she, spoiler alert, won the women's championship, she went out into the audience, and I'm like, is this like a turn?
I think we have a face.
I think we have a face turn for Charlotte Flair.
And people were pointing out, interestingly enough, this is the first time we're seeing Charlotte under the new regime.
Oh, true.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of push she gets and what kind of, run she has under Triple H.
I like Charlotte Flair. It's going to be weird if she is doing like a full face turn, like only good, like the people's women's champion.
Right.
It's going to be very weird because her as a villain she's perfect at it. She's so great at it. I don't know if I've ever seen Charlotte Flair where she wasn't the villain.
Right. I think it's more her NXT, but even then I feel like.
But
anyway,
I'm excited and I like Charlotte Flair and I miss Charlotte Flair. So
I think
all good.
I'm a fan of this decision only because did I need to see Charlotte as champ again so soon? No. I guess not. But I think that the SmackDown roster, women's roster, needed like a big name and needed a big draw, and I think Charlotte Flair is that. Yeah. Hands down.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here, and I'm hoping to see. I would love to see Ronda and Shayna Baszler go after the tag titles.
There might be a little bit of contention now.
Right. And I think that's a cool way. I think that would be a cool way to build it up as opposed to just jumping right to it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah. And then after that, we had. You'd think we know all the matches right off the bat.
I don't remember. It was a crazy night.
Oh well, yeah. We were talking about Imperium coming out. Braun Strowman came out. That he's also very large.
Yes.
We tried to wave at Imperium, but they didn't wave back.
They didn't wave back. Yeah, Imperium.
And then we talked at great length about the main event, which was awesome.
Yes. We filmed a lot of it.
Yeah.
So you should. Are you gonna edit that into a
video? Yeah.
So you should see some sort of like vlog or something on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So you can follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube. We also have our video up from when we went to Raw earlier in the year.
Yes.
That was another really cool. And I think you were mentioning this after we went to SmackDown. You said that you maybe enjoyed SmackDown a little more.
I definitely did. Even with the panic attack. So SmackDown, as you all know, is an hour shorter than Raw. So I don't know, at a certain point with like live events and events where there's a lot of people, I'm just like, I'm tapped out. Like the adrenaline that I had, Peters, it's good that they put what they did last, but yeah, I just can't, I can't, sitting through 3 hours and change, because there's a dark match for Raw.
Right.
And maybe a little bit afterwards. I can't remember. But it's just like not for me. I was so tired afterwards. And then it's a Monday. So you have to like go home and go to work the next day.
And it's already like, then we have to get out of the like all the traffic from the parking, and so it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I definitely like SmackDown more. And I think this is like a common complaint of Raw, is that it's too long, even for people watching at home.
Right.
So I like that SmackDown was like streamlined. We had like a handful of matches. They were all good and meaty.
Right.
Nothing that they did was like filler, which is what a lot of, at least past Raw, felt like. A lot of filler matches. Mm-hmm. I think it's better now in the Triple H era, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed going to see SmackDown more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree.
My stomach just growled so loud. You could probably hear it on the mic.
Was that what that was?
Could you hear that?
Anyway.
It's my body is trying to digest these protein waffles we had for breakfast. Oh, shit. We're falling apart.
So, yeah, no, I'm inclined to agree. Yeah, for all the reasons you said. Yeah, I felt like we got right to it. And also, we have to acknowledge that we saw a really good show. Like, this SmackDown, like, even for the ones we saw this year, this was one of the best of the year, I think. And I could be biased because we were there.
No, I think you're right. I think it's purposeful, too. I think they tried to do, like, something big for the end of the year, which I don't know if that's something they've even done in the past. Because usually they have day one to look forward to. So, like, who cares?
So this is awesome. And, of course, we did acknowledge your tribal chief and ours, Roman Reigns.
I sent a video to my friends on Snapchat because we were like, I just zoomed in. You can see, like, all of Roman Reigns. And I was like, oh my fucking God, it's Roman Reigns. And they said something like, I'm so excited for how excited you are. And I was like, I guess that's nice, but, like, you should be excited too. You don't even know. You don't even know.
Glistening hair and his big trapezius muscles.
Yeah. Tribal daddy.
There were these two older people. Listen, y'all, we love sports entertainment here, and we love how into it people can get. There were these... Oh
my God. That's pretty good, actually.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
There are these two older folks in a couple rows down from us. And when I say older, I mean they were like late 50s.
Middle age.
Like, yeah. And they kept, at every moment, flipping off Roman Reigns in the bloodline. And here's the thing. That's fine. You can get into it. They did that every single moment they could. So much so that one of the production assistants had to come over there and stand in front of them because I think they were getting ready to do a camera, like, whatever. And they didn't want that shit there.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all need to chill. I will say your inclination is correct, Taekwon. They were non-colored. I don't even know if that's a great term to use.
I don't know. I don't mind it.
But correct. And I'm like, it's serving slightly racist. Why is the bloodline the only ones y'all are flipping off?
Yeah. A bunch of brown people, Paul Heyman and Syrian Sammy.
Yeah. So, like,
interesting.
Maybe you just don't like him because they've been champs for so long.
Yeah,
whatever,
there could also be that. They could be, like, perfectly not racist reasons for doing this. It's just like fucking. But you're also, like, 60 years old.
And there's, like, I don't know. Like, there's, again, I know what you mean, FTK. But also there are kids around.
Right.
Like, let them have their fun.
I'm going to give Roman Reigns the bird. See, when I first saw, I didn't see them doing it throughout, like, the whole thing. I just saw, like, the first time. And I thought it was kids. I thought they were, like, preteens. Because that's what I would have done when I was 12. Right. And I thought I was cool at SmackDown Live. I would have flipped off everybody.
Right.
But no, they were, like, old men. How embarrassing.
Yeah, that was crazy. But anyway... it was an awesome experience. Loved it. Yeah, and we'll have a video up. You know what? It'll be very, very soon. Whether that one's up or this one's up beforehand, who's to say?
Who knows? Also, I filmed my stomach. I filmed a Dream Daddies like a week ago. Unfortunately, I haven't even been able to start editing it yet. So.
Right.
If you're waiting for that, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer. We've had some stuff going on.
Anyway, that was just one of our experiences that we've had this year. We talked a little bit about Raw, but I want to go back to the beginning of the year.
Okay, here's the thing. This part of the video is going to be hard for me because I have a goldfish memory.
Oh, that's why I'm here.
Well. You'll have to guide me through what we did this year.
So, we started the new year, and we went to New York on a little trip.
That's true. We went to New York in what, February?
Was it February? I thought it was January.
I think it was February.
Well, either way, toward the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We took a trip to New York. That was our first time traveling, I think, out of state together.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Well, On an actual trip. We did drive. God. We did drive to Alabama once when I lived in Pensacola. It's a 45-minute drive to get Chipotle.
That wasn't have Chipotle in Pensacola, which is like trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did do that. We did do that.
So we went to New York, and that was cool. We went to the Harry Potter store, which was really fucking cool.
We got to see Phantom of the Opera.
Y'all, we got to see Phantom of the Opera.
I already hear Taekwon typing. Phantom of the Opera? That's what you like? That's trash.
Listen, it's fine. Whatever. It's basic. I love it.
I love it. There's a reason why it's the longest running show ever or whatever. Well, it's still running.
It's still running.
As of now.
It'll be running for a bit. I think that was marketing. I think they were like, oh, we're going to close it.
I think so, too.
It would be a shame if no one bought tickets.
It would be a shame if you missed out.
You fucking whores didn't take me.
Oh, okay, that wasn't okay. Different. Yeah. First of all, we didn't know you, bud. We didn't know you.
You missed every opportunity to write fucking with a PH.
Yeah. Phantom of the fucking Opera. No, that was cool because we got to see the first Black Christine on Broadway.
Yeah. So that was another one.
I remember it was Black History Month. It was February.
Oh, right. That was another one where we were both like in the lift going back to where we were staying, and we were like, can't talk about it right now.
Yeah, it was insane.
Need to process it, or otherwise I'm just gonna cry.
Yeah, I think I fully said like I can't think about it right now, or I'm gonna cry.
Right. But that was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. My favorite part. Oh my god, memory unlocked. My favorite part was that the COVID restrictions in New York were still very high at the time. Mm-hmm. So it was masks inside. And one of my favorite parts of the show, it didn't even detract from me, was every time someone had their mask, I don't know where these ushers were hiding.
Yeah. And they must have had cameras.
But they would come up with their little flashlights and just flash someone in the face.
And be like,
they're like, put your mask on.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I love people getting called out for not
call them the fuck out.
Hilarious.
We didn't pay all this fucking money. Someone didn't pay.
I think I paid for the tickets.
Right. Okay. So Kendra didn't pay for all this money.
My wife didn't pay all this money. No, but like, especially, I mean, it was earlier this year, so it was like things had gotten a little bit better.
Right.
But it still wasn't like great. I mean, it's still not great. But just like, how are you gonna fuck around? You know the rules. You want the actors to get sick? Stupid. Well, what are you gonna do? It's more like Crumb winner.
Cromwell. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, and we did a lot of other touristy things. We got to do, what was that?
The Natural History Museum. We went to the...
What's that big building we went into?
The Edge.
The Edge, yeah.
Edge.
You think you know me?
And we got to see like the skyline. That was terrifying. Hated that. I mean, the view was beautiful, but like I'm not good with heights.
They have that like one piece of the floor that's glass, and you can like.
I did step on that.
I didn't.
Because if I didn't, I mean, first of all, if I'm the one person that steps on it and it fucking breaks and I fall through to my death, what a story.
So that was really cool. Yeah. We did the Edge, did the Harry Potter store.
John got to see his family because he's from New York.
I did. I got to see some of my family up there.
Crouton Earner. Yeah, that they make out of stale bread from like the day before.
I didn't see them for a long time, but I like seeing them for the time I did. Yeah.
We also, it wasn't just like me and John. It was a girls' trip that I brought John on. So it was with all my friends.
I had a great time.
I had a great time too. That was really fun.
Went to the Chelsea Market. That was cool.
Chelsea Market was cool.
Had these banging ass little tiny donuts.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm not a big like New York stan. That's the second time I'd ever been.
Right.
It's not good for someone who like doesn't like, who gets really freaked out about like dirty spaces.
Right.
And people, but it was still really, really fun.
Right.
Being with the group that we were with and having you there to like branch off and do other stuff. Cause like my friends, how do you say that word? Vehemently. They really, really, really did not want to see Phantom of the Opera. And I was like, sorry, ladies. I got to do this one for me and for the culture. So luckily, see, that's why I bought the tickets, because John didn't have a choice. I dragged him around wherever I wanted to go. And he went.
I also talked you into getting those tickets in the sense
that's true.
I was like, if you don't spend money on a show you don't want to see.
Yeah, you were like YOLO.
Right. Like if you're going to go, it's your trip.
What I want.
And it's not, no shade.
No,
it's
no,
just,
no.
You know.
Yeah, because my friends end up seeing Chicago, which I would have been happy seeing too.
I was also, for Kendra, it's called. They did see Chicago when James Monroe Iglehart was playing Billy Flynn, and I'm like,
that's pretty good.
I'm a little jealous of that. That's pretty fucking cool.
But yeah,
would have loved to have seen that.
Had to do it.
But yeah,
what else did we do? I think that was pretty much like
we did like the Staten Island Ferry.
Yeah. Lady Liberty, all that shit.
Yeah, so all that was cool. And yeah, it was just a really fun time. We stood close to the financial district, and
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, but
it was nice because it was quiet.
We saw snow. We
did see snow. It was my friend Corinne's first time seeing snow. She was very excited. Oh,
I'm also a very big fan.
I'm not that big of a fan.
Yeah.
But then after New York,
skip ahead a little bit, like not even like a full 3 months.
Yeah.
Like just a couple months later.
Yeah.
We went to the other side of the country. Mm-hmm. We took a trip to California.
It was our first time on the West Coast.
Right.
And our second trip together. This one was solo. Well, right. With each other.
Yeah.
And we went to Disneyland.
Yeah, I say we went to California.
We didn't.
We really just went to Disneyland.
Yeah, we went to Disneyland. And it was funny because when we showed up, we're in the airport in, I guess, Anaheim. And I was like, this looks like where I'm from. We landed, and I'm looking outside the windows, and I'm seeing palm trees, and I'm seeing clear blue skies, and I'm seeing an interstate, and I'm like, this is Tampa, Florida. Like, this is where we came from. Except the doors opened, and there wasn't like a big, like opening an oven door of humidity and steam.
It was actually very nice.
Beautiful. I know. Anyway, so yeah, we stayed, like, we didn't do anything California. We stayed on Disney property. We went to the airport to Disney property. We went to downtown Disney that night. It is a cheap imitation of Disney Springs. Sorry. And then we went back to the hotel. The next day we went to Disneyland.
So hang on. You're moving very fast. You're moving too
We've
fast.
already been streaming for an hour. How long do you want this to be?
However long it takes.
Okay. It's a finale special, 4 hours long.
Well, I don't know about that, but
so we lift from the airport.
Shut the hell up. I want to talk about downtown Disney.
Okay.
So I will, yes. I mean, it's just small. The entire Disney property there, sorry, I'm laughing at what he said. The entire Disney property is just smaller than what we're used to. Because Disney World is like half of Florida. So downtown Disney there, it's very nice and everything. What I will say, I had one of the best corn dogs I've ever had in my life there.
Absolutely fucking delicious. What about the Korean corn dogs?
That's why I said it was one of them.
Okay.
I wanted... Yes, Taekwon. John wanted length and girth when it comes to his Disney trips.
Yeah.
Listen, I will say this Disneyland though, given all the shit they have in this little space, you might consider is a grower, not a shower.
Or a shower, not a grower, because they can't grow.
Yeah, but it's like fuck, you ruined it.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Your corn dog, John, please.
My corn dog. It was fantastic. It was like coated in like panko, and it was like kind of sweet.
Speaking of length and girth, it was fucking huge.
Yeah, there was a picture that you took of me holding this corn dog, and I was like, I can't post this anywhere.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's a shy caterpillar. It was fucking good though.
It was good,
and it was like kind of cold because I don't know if
like
y'all knew
outside.
This. At nighttime, California be getting kind of chilly.
Well, yeah, and also it was like it wasn't peak like summer heat or anything.
Yeah, we were like it was like maybe April. So it was getting down to like 60 and like the high 50s. It was not what we were expecting, not what I was expecting. Oh boy. You're really showing it, huh?
Look at how big that fucking thing was. God damn. But yeah, I was like a little bit chilly.
Damn, I love seeing a man gobble down a glizzy. Listen, it was fucking good. I'm not even going to front. It was banging. Yeah, it was awesome. The hotel was interesting. It was nice.
It was on its way to becoming nice. So we stayed at the Paradise Pier, which is like the cheapest place to stay. Disney World. Oh my God, we sound like Disney adults. Disney World, because it's huge, you have like 35 hotels on property or like their valued partners or whatever to choose from, where it's like super close to Disney and pretty high quality. At Disneyland, I think you have like 4 choices and 3 of them are horribly expensive if you want to stay on property, which we did because I didn't want to rent a car. I didn't want to like have to worry about transportation.
Right.
I just wanted to be able to walk there. Same. I'll talk about that more later. So we stayed in the cheapest one and they were doing construction on it. So I think that's what the issue was. It wasn't like the room was gross or anything. It was just kind of old and dated.
Right.
And then they were doing construction like outside of our door. And there was like a really weird loud noise that would happen.
Oh my God. Yeah.
In the bathroom. Don't know what that was about. But I mean, other than that, it was fine. It did what it needed to do. We weren't in there for very long.
The elevator situation was kind of annoying.
The elevator thing is weird, but it's like a feature, right, not an issue.
I will say though, upon our arrival, our very first day at going to one of the parks, we were actually set up for success because of that big old time difference, that big old time change.
Yes.
So by the time we went to sleep at like fucking 8 p.m. or something.
Yeah,
it was
we were
like
very sleepy.
But because of that, we were like super well rested, up by like 6 a.m.
Yeah, because to us it felt like 9.
Right, and we're like, oh man, we can like get started. All we gotta do is walk over to the park.
Yeah, and the thing that Disneyland, I think the biggest thing that Disneyland has on Disney World is how easy it is to get from place to place.
Right.
You're like within the same 5-block radius.
Right.
So like you could walk to Disneyland. From Disneyland, it's across the street to walk to California Adventure.
Right.
Downtown Disney is how you get to Disneyland. Like it's all so close and you can walk it all, especially when you were staying on property. We cut through one of the other hotels.
Right.
To the Grand Californian to get everywhere. That was so convenient. You can't do that at Disney World.
Right.
Even if you stay across Bay Lake from Magic Kingdom, that is a like 3-mile walk.
Right.
That you have to walk.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people also don't realize how spread out Disney World is, especially if they're coming from Disneyland.
Fucking massive.
It's huge. Like that's why they have buses and Skyliners and minivans, like taxi cabs and shit. Like you can't walk it like you can at Disneyland. So that was great. But yeah, because we were so like well rested, we didn't need to rush. It was like very low stress.
Right.
Because it felt 3 hours later than it actually was.
Right.
And luckily that continued for the whole trip. It was a little rough when we came back, trying to get back on that schedule, but I wouldn't say we were like jet lagged for super, super long.
I couldn't feel my ass for a hot minute because
it was like an 8-hour flight.
Ugh. Yeah.
In little tiny. I mean, I think airlines, like commercial passenger planes, should be illegal.
Oh.
It seems like a human rights violation to cram people in that close together when there's no reason to.
Right.
So anyway, Disney World is more spread out than the area codes with all of Ludacris's hosts.
Solid reference.
Exactly. But yeah, so the first day we went to Disneyland, and
it was fun. It was very Disney.
It was like my fucking stomach. It's, as a Disney historian myself, it's very cool to like see it all, because at Disney World we get like version 2 of everything. Sometimes it's better because it's like the Kinks were worked out over there. The castle.
Oof.
It was almost embarrassing seeing the Disneyland castle, and I appreciate it for what it is.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I ever mentioned. I don't know if you ever mentioned this while I've been on stream. I feel like I only recently learned that you were going to school for animation taekwondo. That's really cool.
Yeah, I learned about it.
Yeah,
because of something I said that I didn't like, and you were like, as an animator, and I was like,
anyway,
shit.
My apologies.
It's okay. So like, yeah, but they had like the Indiana Jones ride, which is so much better than what's its equivalent, Dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dinosaur's leaving anyway. But it was just cool to see things like the another huge thing that Disneyland, both parks, have over Disney World is that their characters can just walk around.
Yeah.
So we were like eating fucking beef on a stick, waiting for our like fast passes for the Indiana Jones ride again, because it was the second time we were riding it. And fucking Captain Jack Sparrow just walks up and starts talking to John out of nowhere. And I was like, I didn't even know this fucking guy was like here and walking around, and he just showed up.
So we also have a vlog of our trip to Disneyland on our YouTube channel. You can go check that out. And we did a pretty good job of getting footage of nearly everything we did. The one interaction I did not get footage of was because he just ambushed me.
Showed up and started talking to John. Like, we didn't search him out. We weren't like in a line for him. We were eating beef on a stick.
Beef on a stick is my nickname. Yeah, it was Captain Jack Sparrow. And it just happened.
And afterwards you were like, did you get that? And I was like, no, I didn't. My phone's in my pocket.
Right. He was awesome though.
He was cool.
And I asked him why the rum was gone, and he was like, I'm trying to figure that out too, mate. Yes. I was like, man, these people are awesome. I love them.
No, but apparently Johnny Depp recently put on his Captain Jack Sparrow costume to grant another wish.
Yeah, he'd be doing that.
Yeah, but at least it's for like Make-A-Wish. It's a good cause. So.
But so that was cool. And even then, like we had done really everything by like 2 p.m.
Yeah, because it's, again, not very big. And also there were some things like, I know that
I think Pirates was closed.
Which is like one of the things that's actually different. And also we had the Genie Plus thing, which if you're like a pass holder or you're going to be somewhere, like visit multiple, like if you live close and you're like, oh, I go once every or twice every year or something like that, I don't recommend it. I think just Disney Genie Plus is like a scam. It's, I mean,
I don't know how long it's staying around now.
Oh, true. It's not. It's just greedy. Right. It's just greedy for greed's sake. There's no reason people should have to pay extra for fast passes. Anyway, but because we were only there for 3 days, we had 2 travel days, 3 days actually at the parks. I was like, listen, I'm not going to fuck around. I want to make sure that I can ride everything, because I don't know if I'm ever going to come back. I don't know if I'll ever be back here again. It was an expensive trip. So we got that. So because of that, just we're making fast passes for everything. We did everything super quick. There's not very much to do.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff we've done before. There are some things between Disney World and Disneyland that are carbon copy the same exact thing. So, yeah. But
it reaffirmed my dislike for the Space Mountain. Even when it was Hyperspace Mountain, it was Star Wars themed. Like, that part was cool. I was terrified. I thought I was going to fly off of it.
I like their ride vehicles a lot more. And listen, oh my gosh, I could go into every detail about these
New Orleans Square was really cool. I got to meet Tiana and make a video.
We did get to see Tiana.
She made a video for my friend Patrick. Shout out to Patrick.
It was really cool. And she was walking around.
Yeah. And
I don't know why they don't do that at Disney World. I mean, it's
I think they brought it. I think it was something that they suspended. I think they brought it back though. I think.
That's so. It's just. Was it like COVID restrictions?
I think so.
And California opened theirs back up before Florida, who didn't do anything to help the pandemic at all.
I mean,
that doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it was more expensive. I don't know.
I know. I'm really upset they don't do that here.
Yeah, I want an overlay.
But
that's the thing. That's like Disneyland gets the Oogie Boogie Bash, and they get the overlays and shit, and we're just like, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Right.
I would pay money to go to Oogie Boogie Bash. Yeah. I'm not going to pay money to go to.
Right, to get shit ton of candy.
I sound like a mom. Anyway.
But the next day we went over to Disney California Adventure. And of course we finally got to go to, this is the main reason I think both of us wanted to go.
Yes.
We got to go see Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure.
Which again is like,
and I can't think about too much about that, because when we first got there, I got super emotional.
I went to pee. And he's like, I was crying.
It was just so cool because the minute you walk in, like it's like the music fades into you hear a fade in of the Avengers theme. Yeah, truly. And it was I don't know. It was just like you're getting transported into like this really cool area, and we got to meet. You know, had my first kind of viral clip. Got to meet the Scarlet Witch. Hang on one second. Met the Scarlet Witch, and I don't know. It was just there was so much there.
It just felt super immersive, like more so than most other worlds, except for maybe like Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Well, because I guess those are the most recent, so they're better at creating those little like pockets of the park. And again, Avengers Campus is tiny.
Right.
Boy, you better work.
No, but he did. Fun fact about Ant-Man at Avengers Campus: he carries around a miniaturized version of the like Bugs Land,
the Bugs Life little land.
Like I
can't remember what it was called. But that's what Avengers Campus replaced.
Right. So he carries a miniaturized version of that, and when we saw him, I'm not even lying. He was dancing through.
Yeah, like skipping.
And waltzing with this little miniaturized park.
Yeah.
Anywhere he went, and we're just like, what the hell is Ant-Man doing?
Yeah. And at any given time, there are like
3 or 4 heroes around.
4 people at like Was that you?
Yeah.
I thought someone was throwing up. Characters out walking around again in this very small, like one city block section of the park. So like no one was even going up to Ant-Man for like pictures or anything because they're like,
you couldn't.
Well, yeah, he was on the move, but like you're gonna see him in another 10 minutes, and T'Challa's over there, and Captain Marvel's over here, and there's so many people. They have shows like we saw the Doctor Strange show. We also hit it at a good time because it was right after Doctor Strange came out.
Yeah, so we saw the Doctor Strange show twice. We also got to meet America Chavez and, like I said, Scarlet Witch,
and Spider-Man.
That was my boy. That was cool. I'm like, yo, where did y'all find this Spider-Man? Because he fully gave me dap when I met him. It was really cool. True.
And he sounded a lot like Tom Holland.
Yeah. But the Doctor Strange show is really cool. If you ever get a chance.
It was in the web slingers.
You gotta stop. The Doctor Strange show is really cool at night. It's cool in general, but
definitely
we saw it at
better at night. See it at night and get in line earlier than you think you should, because it fills up quick. They shove a ton of people in there. You also have to sit on the floor, just FYI. They shove a ton of people in there, but definitely try to get there earlier.
It's quite a beautiful show at night.
It's pretty. The lights are pretty.
Yeah.
It was oh my God, I want to go back so bad.
I know.
The food.
Y'all. For nothing else, you have got to go to Pim's Test Kitchen.
So fucking good. Not even just like, oh, this is themed really well. Like, it was tasty. Like, I dream about the chicken sandwich and the fucking, like, Snickers bar that was, like, huge with a brownie in it.
The packaging said that it was, like...
snack size.
Like, snack size.
Yeah. But it was, like...
Hey. And then we had that giant pretzel, the elote pretzel. Yeah. That had the mini popcorn on it. I'm like, how'd y'all get popcorn so tiny?
I don't know.
But, yeah. So,
it was cool.
Like I said, could go on and on. Also realized... I'm notoriously not a fan of roller coasters.
Except...
Y'all, the Incredicoaster?
Yeah.
That was my shit. I had such a good time on that.
We went on the Incredicoaster twice.
But my favorite moment was as we were on it.
The very first time
we were on it. And, like, I'm, like, screaming my ass off.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm not a big fan of coasters. But even though I was having fun, I'm like, ah! And then I see we're about to go. I was like... Kendra, is that a fucking loop?
And it was.
We go upside down, and I was losing it. But it was a really good time.
Yeah.
Also, Jack's Num Nums or whatever.
The cookie?
The cookie?
Delicious.
Very good.
We truly ate our way through Disneyland.
Glider Smash. R.I.P. Truly. Oof. That was a rough moment. We just recently rewatched that.
We just rewatched it, yeah. Because she got up and she was fine, but then she wasn't. Oh.
Yeah. But totally... and then Web Slingers was fun. I had a great time shopping for stuff. Mm-hmm. So Avengers Campus definitely did not disappoint.
Yeah.
I think
all of California Adventure.
Yeah, it was
even like, okay, I'm not a big Cars fan, but the Cars land is also themed super, super well. And I love the car animatronics. Like, they did like a little parade.
Yeah. It was really
I don't know
cool.
Why they're so good.
My best friend from college, Cassidy, she lives out there and she frequents Disney a lot.
So she hung out with us like for half of the day.
And she took us around and like, it was really, really cool. So that was a awesome experience. So the plane ride was long, but
it was worth it.
Yeah,
it was worth it. And I definitely want to go back. If I could redo how we did it last time, I would maybe, depending on the price, maybe opt for a better hotel, even if it was off, because you could still walk.
Oh, we had that like Hawaiian barbecue food. We did have, and we had like katsu chicken.
Yeah, katsu curry, and I haven't been able to find. They don't make it here.
I gotta talk to my friend. She told me about a good place. I think in Sarasota.
I don't want a Muppets Land. Sorry, we already have.
I would fuck with Muppets Land. I like the Muppets.
A whole land.
They're funny. I want a show with just those two old dudes that are like ripping on everything.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
That's Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah. I like Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Little guy. But I would do like Disneyland one day and then Hollywood California Adventure.
Right.
The next 2 days. Because we had park hopper tickets. And we only park hopped once on the third day.
Right.
And that's because I had a reservation for Disneyland first. So like, but yeah, Disneyland was very fun. And you mentioned Tokyo Disney, I think. I want to visit every Disney World park in the world.
Yeah.
I took a step. I told my therapist about it. That's how things get done around these parts. I told her about wanting to go to Disneyland like years ago.
Uh-huh.
I told her about wanting to go to Disney World years ago when we first started meeting. Mm-hmm. And then 4 years later,
now you're 2 parts down.
Did it. So I got a passport. First ever passport. I've never had a passport before. And I think the first one that I want to go to is Disneyland Paris.
Right.
I don't know how we're going to afford that, but you never know.
Through God, all things are possible.
Through God, all things are possible. And if the Lord can lead me to it, he can lead me through it.
But yeah, so that was another awesome kind of trip. We told you about Monday Night Raw, food and wine, of course.
Yeah, we had a lot of Disney World trips in between.
Right.
We actually have one coming up. It was my Christmas present to John. We're going to go make a lightsaber. So he has a droid from Galaxy's Edge, but we're going to go make a lightsaber.
So very excited about that.
Complete the collection. And then at some point in there, I went to Michigan with my family.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that I vlogged about, but my mom is from Michigan, so like a very tiny town in Michigan. So we went back there. It was my whole family, and we got to stay there for a few days, which was really, really cool. And Michigan, especially like small town Michigan, depending on where you are, can be quite beautiful. Because there's just like space. I'm not used to it.
Right.
And then, did we go anywhere? I don't think we went anywhere else.
I think that's about, recently during the holidays. And then we'll move into some kind of another another topic here. We also, on a very, very, I would say forgotten about experience until we didn't know we were going to do it. We saw a Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
We did see Trans-Siberian Orchestra with my mommy, who got tickets on Groupon.
Yeah. So it was also at the Amalie Arena in Tampa. This was indeed like way, way in the back. But it was actually kind of nice being all the way up there because we could see everything.
So like when we say we were all the way in the back, like our backs were against the wall on the third, like the highest level that we were in the very, very back that you can be. But like vantage point wise, we could see everything.
Right.
And
it was cool.
It was way cooler than I thought it would be. It was a little long for my taste. And it was formatted very strangely. But
yeah, a few notes for Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
But I did rock out. Had a cookie there too. Delicious and delightful. My mom got Dippin' Dots. And I was like, I haven't seen those in 10 years. And they gave her like this much Dippin' Dots, no spoon.
No, they gave her a spoon.
She dropped the spoon.
She dropped her spoon.
Yeah, that is like my mom, isn't it?
But yeah, no, that was cool. The show was formatted very strangely. Like I thought the show was over about
halfway
an
through.
hour and a half before it actually ended.
Yeah. I was
that's
like a 3-hour show, 2.5, 3 hours.
I was like, man, this is a really long encore performance.
Yeah.
And nope.
When it was like, when I thought it ended. Oh, interesting. Hold on. You'll have to tell us more about that. When I thought it ended, I was like, oh my God, like a tight hour and a half. Like, that's glorious. All shows should be like this. And then they kept going. And I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it was still really cool.
We're going to see it again next year.
Yeah.
With like everyone.
Oh, one other orchestral experience we had this year.
Yes.
We actually saw Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire at the Straz Center for the Performing Arts.
Straz Center. That was really, really cool.
And it was with the Florida Orchestra was playing the score live. That was awesome. I've always wanted to do something like that, and it was really cool. Yeah, they do
them all the time with like a bunch of different properties. If you ever have it in your area, I would look it up. Tickets aren't crazy, and it's really, really cool.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. No, good show. Yeah, but it's got a lot to do with racial tension and things like that. So, well, I'm glad you liked it for that. I don't know.
Yeah, good for you, I guess. Well, tell us more about the drag show, though. Like, where was it? Was it Hamburger Mary's? Was it like a different place?
Yeah, one thing I wish we would have done, but their tickets are just so expensive. I would have loved to have seen Trixie and Katya live, but
yes,
maybe some other time.
But
anyway, while you tell us about that drag show,
yes.
I also thought this might be a good opportune moment to talk about maybe some of our favorite things from this year. So like some movies and some TV shows.
I've forgotten every movie I've ever seen.
Luckily for you, I've written a bunch of them down.
Okay.
I tried to keep a good track of movies either I or we have watched. So I'll list over a couple of the ones I know for a fact we liked.
Wait. I want to say what my favorite movie and TV show were.
Oh.
And then I want to see if my opinion changes.
Okay. So what were some of your favorite things?
Okay. I think my favorite movie of the year. What came out this year? Did No Way Home come out this year?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No. That was December of last year.
Okay, so I'm not.
So it's close, but no.
I don't know what my favorite movie is.
Okay, I'll just name a couple movies that we've seen that I know.
But my favorite show.
Okay, what's your favorite show?
My favorite show, I think, was Andor. Okay. Proceed.
I also think my favorite show is Andor, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what was came out this year. So I can tell you right now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Netflix original, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Wow.
I did not like that movie. I thoroughly did not like that movie. But let's talk about a movie I did like, and I know you liked, Scream.
I was going to say, I think my favorite, movie series that I watched all of in one year was the Scream franchise.
Right, but the new Scream came out at the beginning of the year. And yeah, that was really, really fucking good. It was just such a great way to bring people back to the franchise and just kind of revitalize life in it. Yeah. Another movie that came out this year, The Batman.
Oh, okay. That was a good one.
The Batman.
Batman was great.
Just every time I think about that movie, I'm just like, man, what a cool, great fucking movie. I know some people don't like how it ended. I actually really, really love the ending. Because it's somber and quiet and sad, and that's not something you get from superhero movies. Anyway, I could go on and on. But a couple other movies that came out. Turning Red.
Great. Doctor
Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Fair.
One of this is gonna be hard. One of my favorite movies of the year. Nope.
Oh, I didn't see
Jordan Peele's Nope. That was awesome. Halloween Ends. We did watch the Halloween franchise this year.
Yeah, I watched all the Halloween movies.
Overall, a fan.
Worse than Scream, but
Halloween Ends.
Yeah, the new trilogy. The first one was okay, and then it just kind of got away.
I really liked the 2018 one, but the others I just was not a fan. Black Adam, Hocus Pocus 2, Jackass Forever.
Oh, We got information on the drag show.
Oh, all right, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
Bullet Train, Glass Onion, and I'm sure there's other movies. Thor: Love and Thunder. The Lost City. I'm sure there's other movies in there that we've watched. But those are some of the movies I know we've watched. Some of the shows. Some of these are some that I've watched. Some, Peacemaker, House of the Dragon, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, What We Do in the Shadows, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Boys Season 3, The Witcher Season 2, although I feel like that came out last year too. I don't know why that's on here. Umbrella Academy Season 3, Stranger Things Season 4, The Sandman, Cobra Kai, Rings of Power, Rick and Morty, Andor, and Wednesday. Some of these we haven't finished.
We haven't finished Wednesday. We haven't even barely started Rick and Morty, and we didn't finish Sandman.
Right. So let's look at this drag story.
Okay. I'll read it.
Hang on. Okay, go ahead.
The drag show was fucking amazing. The energy, the performances, the outfits, chef's kiss. A thick Latino dancing to stand out from the Goofy movie. Was it John?
Okay.
Cat Wilderness.
You were there?
My mommy in her immaculate silver outfit. Thick blonde woman with her titties out, nipples covered, shaking that ass. I saw a fucking Beyonce dance battle. It was awesome.
Oh, that's not awesome. Netflix, that's one I need to watch.
Netflix
That's
Pinocchio.
Guillermo del Toro.
I'm hearing great things about it. I don't know if I want to watch Pinocchio.
I want to watch. I do want to watch Pinocchio. I hear it's amazing.
And then The Bear. Did that come out this year?
Yeah, I hear that's fucking awesome. Like, I hear that show's really good.
Oh, that's a show.
Yeah. So a couple. FX usually puts out bangers. But those are a couple that I've been meaning to get around to. But just these last couple weeks have been crazy. But out of the things I have, and keep in mind, it's not like, obviously we're not the end all be all, like, this is the best thing you've not watched. Blah,
right.
Blah, blah, blah. Owl House is dope. A Disney show I love. The animation nerd, me leaking out. No,
never even
please.
Heard of that. Yeah, keep them coming.
Please keep that stuff coming. I'm a fan of animation. So I'm very interested in your thoughts on many things, looking through that lens. But in terms of the TV shows, man, what a great year for, like, especially the nerdy shit we like.
Big Star Wars year.
Big Star Wars. Well, we're heading even to a bigger, I think, more robust Star Wars year in a good way. I know Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of split. Everything fucking splits the fandom apart.
Yeah.
But I think both shows are overhated. I think Book of Boba Fett, I can see why people might think it's a little boring.
I can see that, and I can also understand why people would be frustrated that a lot of the latter half of Boba Fett was like Mandalorian season 2.5.
I think that was intentional.
That was the point. It was supposed to be a supplemental show too.
Right. So, but if anything, that's what made me like it more.
Yeah.
I think it gets a little too much flack.
I agree.
And I would say that even more so with Obi-Wan.
Oh
wow,
that's awesome.
That's very cool. Owl House, and I'm assuming it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it's got to be. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, so I think those are overhated. I particularly enjoy the latter half of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Every time Obi-Wan and Vader were on screen together, it was insane. Bless you. The Boys came out with I actually forgot it came out this year.
Was it early in the year?
It had to have been. But like season 3 was, that show is yet to miss a fucking beat, in my opinion. So it's hard to like dwindle down like what.
Truly.
It's hard to dwindle down which is like my favorite of the year.
Yeah.
Because we started the year off so strong with Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That was in January. And that was another show that had like no business being as good as it was.
Right.
But that's kind of
I didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Right. But that's like James Gunn's whole thing. And John Cena he's amazing in it. He's hilarious.
I think this is like peak Cena.
Right. Space can be dark, but not my characters. But yeah, I loved Peacemaker. I loved. I think Marvel had a not up and down. I think they had a pretty. I think they had an overall good year with their TV shows. I really, maybe this is just me. I really thoroughly enjoyed Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. I really liked Moon Knight a lot too, but I think out of the shows they put out, I think Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, also both She-Hulk especially, I think wins for most over-hated show of the year.
Well, yeah. It's hard with stuff like that because you never know who has like a legitimate gripe or who's just sexist or who's just racist or who's just both.
Right.
It's hard. But I think She-Hulk probably was like the best of the shows.
Yeah, it was so funny. That was the show, I feel like, more than most of their other TV shows, knew exactly what it was trying to do. And played around with that, and also reintroduced Daredevil to the fold, and it had so much going for it, and I think overall was very successful. I think that people were just hating on that show just to hate on it. I also really like Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel stylistically is my favorite of the Marvel shows this year.
Yeah, it was really different, and a lot of people don't appreciate that. But I don't know. I don't want to watch the same thing. I don't want to watch Captain America over and over and over. You know what I mean?
So I'm super excited to see Ms. Marvel's next chapter in the Marvels. I think next year, which would be cool in the new year. And Moon Knight was awesome as well. Y'all can see here one of my Christmas presents was one of my baddies of the year, Scarlet Scarab.
You should have had a baddies of the year list.
I should have actually. Well, listen.
You and Taekwon bonded.
We're already talking about She-Hulk. We're talking about Scarlet Scarab. Anyway, not gonna keep going.
I don't know what Big Barda is. I look it up. Keep going, John.
It's probably a big old woman.
Probably some big old woman.
But yeah, the boys also just so fucking good. It's hard to say because that show in particular is one of my favorite shows. Umbrella Academy also, that show, I went from hating season 1. I didn't hate. Yeah. I didn't hate season 1. I just didn't love it.
Yeah, I remember.
But I went from not really caring about it to like, oh my god, I'm so excited to watch this.
I remember like pulling teeth to get you to watch that first season.
I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I think I just was I didn't understand that like the characters were the way they were by design.
Yeah.
Once I realized like, oh,
they're supposed to be annoying.
That's their whole thing is that they're annoying and dysfunctional and don't listen.
Yeah.
Like I was like, so much could be avoided if they just shut the hell up.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next season, but I'm sad that it'll be ending. At least it'll end on a high.
Stranger Things. I went from not giving a single shit that Stranger Things season 4 was coming out to being like, this is one of the best seasons of like TV this year. Like this is
great.
Insane. And admittedly, I did not finish The Sandman. Didn't finish Cobra Kai. I just got busy around these times of years.
Yeah. Sandman. I didn't like Sandman.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know why.
I was into it, but I didn't finish Rings of Power. Rings of Power and Cobra Kai. I believe I was dying with COVID. I wasn't dying, but I was.
You can't just say that.
I was very
also,
sick. Also,
Rings of Power was spoiled for you, unfortunately.
Rings of Power did get spoiled, and they kind of put a damper on it for me. But I think overall, man, before Andor came out, I would have pretty confidently said House of the Dragon might have been my favorite show this year. But like, y'all,
Andor was so good. It had like the House of Dragon politics side, but based in Star Wars, and with Diego Luna.
And it was like the world building, the tension building, just like everything. And the season finale was like perfect. Yeah. It was so fucking good.
It was a great show.
Yeah. I'm like, man. So like, again, what a year of TV we had. We got season 4 of What We Do in the Shadows, which ends very interestingly. It made my musical theater heart flutter hearing them sing. It's been out this
Spoilers.
long. Hearing the episode really utilize Sunrise Sunset from Fiddler on the Roof. Sure. I was like, you know what?
God.
It kind of works.
I mean, it worked narratively. It was just like, fucking out of nowhere.
Right.
Anyway, that's a great show if you haven't watched it. That's one of my favorite shows.
Right. So we had a really exciting year for TV, especially when you're into kind of all this fandom stuff that we are. John's moist. Okay.
Ew.
In terms of movies, though, man, this was tough. And we also had a couple specials in there. We had like Werewolf by Night. We had the holiday special, Guardians holiday special. That was another show I didn't put that we watched. The I Am Groot. A little short.
Yeah, it was like a little.
Man, it's hard to pick.
I think Wakanda Forever. After running through it again, I think that was the one that had like the most impact on me.
Right. Yeah.
Light skin by day and by night.
Christmas with You. With Freddie Prinze Jr. Y'all know Freddie Prinze Jr. can speak Spanish? Y'all know he's Puerto Rican?
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
I didn't know that.
But it still counts.
He's a Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Honestly, I saw it a little late in the year. Yeah, that's what we said.
That's why in that movie his name is Miguel.
He's named Miguel, and he's got a whole little Latin family.
Yeah.
My whole thing was I was like, oh, you're getting another white guy, blah blah blah. I mean, technically they did.
Yeah.
But he's.
Yeah, because he pronounced something. He said something, and it was like perfectly pronounced, and we were both kind of like,
hold up.
And then I Googled it, and yeah, his dad was Puerto Rican and quite cute, but he's dead.
God damn, Kendra.
He died when he was like 1 or 2. It's very sad. He was young. Like
so
26.
Glass Onion was really good.
So Glass Onion was great.
I'm glad more people are seeing that now that it's not on Netflix.
Yes.
But one we saw a little later in the year that I was like, man, I really wish we went and saw this in the movie theater was Bullet Train.
Yeah, Bullet Train was so good. We waited. It came out in the theater, and I remember being like, man, I really want to go see that. And I don't know what happened, but the timing just wasn't right. So then it got to a point where we were like, might as well wait and watch it on streaming. There were some allegations about Brad Pitt. I don't want to go see it in the theater and give people money. So yeah, we waited and watched it after it came on Netflix.
Right.
And I'm a sucker for like quirky animation, like Edgar Wright, Scott Pilgrim animation. And that's kind of what it reminded me of, or like editing, I should say. And that's what it reminded me of. So I really, really appreciated it. It had like clever editing. Is that the right way to say it? And it was like stylized in a way that I appreciated. And there's like crazy cast.
Yeah. I mean, and I think we're kind of both in agreement here. Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson stole the whole movie. They're so good together.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. God bless you, brother. American King, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
But yeah, so no, that movie was so fucking good. It was hilarious, a lot of cool action in it, and it was just, I think what I appreciated most about it was just how clever and witty a movie this really was.
Yeah.
And it totally makes sense that it was David Leitch, who did Deadpool 2 and the John Wick movies. And when I was telling someone about it, I was like, it's like John Wick, but with the wit elevated.
Yeah.
Because John Wick at its core is now it's like something it's like an event now.
Yeah.
But when that first one, it was just like really random. Like, this guy's just massacring people because they killed his fucking dog.
I've never seen a John Wick movie.
You never seen any John Wick movie?
None of them.
They're pretty good.
I like the one scene from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I almost said Agent 13. Sharon Carter. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that was fucking cool.
And I liked this, so I probably would like John Wick. My dad likes John Wick.
And John Wick shot Common. Yeah.
Kevin Nash was in one of those movies?
I fucking guess.
Huh. Anyway, but yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and I got to see Bad Bunny. This is the first time I saw Bad Bunny in anything, because I didn't watch the season of Narcos.
Other than wrestling.
Huh?
I said other than wrestling?
Other than wrestling, yes, that's true. Do you think Bad Bunny's going to come back in the Rumble?
I don't know if he'll come back in the Rumble. I have a feeling we might see him at WrestleMania, maybe in a match against either the Judgment Day or just Damian Priest.
Why not against Dominic Mysterio?
Or maybe Dominic Mysterio. I don't know. Priest was his old partner.
Yeah.
So
true.
Maybe.
But he sides with Rey Mysterio.
I was just about to say I wouldn't mind seeing a Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio against Priest and Dominic. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that's that's funny. You guys have the same reign. You said the same thing at the same time. That would be amazing. That would be a really cool match to watch. I love Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, he was great in this movie. Yeah, so this was like a real sleeper hit for me. Like I'm bummed. I'm kicking myself I didn't see it sooner.
Yeah, but a lot of people I think really, really liked it. I see stuff on TikTok, mostly like people very thirsty for Aaron Taylor Johnson, as they should be. I see a lot of that on TikTok.
Right.
But
part of me is inclined to agree with you and say Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but man, this is also really hard. My brain is always drawn back to Nope though, because that movie, like I sat with it for a while and I sat and thought about it and just like, man, this was like such a cool concept. And like Jordan Peele, again, he's another one who's yet to miss. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. So for me, it's more like, here are my favorites of the year. Nope is up there. Black Panther's up there. Honestly, call me crazy, Jackass Forever's up there for me.
Jackass Forever was pretty good.
Yeah, it had and I think I'm also like supplementing it with that Jackass 4.5.
Yeah.
Like that was it helped me appreciate it a lot more. Speaking of Puerto Ricans, I just got a quote there.
I wouldn't read it out loud.
The big pun quote I use frequently is, can I say it?
I don't know.
Big Pun said, I don't discriminate. I regulate every shade of the ass. Just saying that he's into all different sorts of women. And
you know what? That's
equality. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway. So yeah, I would say those are kind of neck and neck. I also really like The Batman is a thing.
The Batman was also very good. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
I need to watch Nope, though. I didn't want to see it in theaters because I'm a little baby and I do not want to be scared. A little baby, very scared baby. I'm German.
Yeah,
now.
I don't know. I've been trying to think about this for a while now.
No one's making you choose one. Just choose both.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with those two. I'm going to go with those three as my favorites of the year.
Okay.
The Batman, Nope, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I think those are solid.
Just because, yeah. I think Wakanda Forever, I think, is like incredible for a lot of different reasons. Jordan Peele's Nope is just like masterclass movie making and just like storytelling. And the Batman it was just awesome. So anyway, those are kind of my favorites. Our last little bit here before we wrap things up. I know there's been so many matches throughout the year. I know we can't really narrow it down to one, but I'm wondering if there are any matches that stick out to you in particular as some of your favorite matches of the year. And Taekwon, whoever else may be watching, please chime in if there's any favorites of anything. Movies, shows, hell, albums, like anything y'all want to throw in there. But I'm wondering if there's any matches that stuck out to you in particular.
I think of the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam
with the tractor.
Yes. That stuck out to me because that was fucking insane. That was also one of the ones where my family, because that was when I was in Michigan with my family. So my sister saw part of it and was just kind of like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, yeah, welcome.
I have to mention this. The only reason I did not mention that movie.
We haven't seen it.
Haven't watched it yet.
We haven't watched it yet.
I feel so bad. Yeah. I'm going to though.
It's on our list. Like literally it's written down.
Yeah. I just I've not gotten around to checking it out just yet.
I hear it's great.
I'm sure it's going
to. How dare you?
And I love Michelle Yeoh. So like I'm very excited to check it out. Just haven't gotten a chance to yet.
Yeah.
So sorry.
We will watch it. And also the Usos versus the Street Profits
at Money in the Bank.
Sure. How do you remember that?
Because at SummerSlam they had a rematch, but that was with Jeff Jarrett as the special referee.
How do you remember that? I don't remember. I've
got this big old brain.
Oh my God, Cody and Seth. That's
I was about
great.
to say
that was like backstory wise match of the year for sure, because it's like our respect for Cody Rhodes was like and Seth Rollins, honestly, through the roof from that match. Visually having to watch it was painful. So, oh my God, I'm just thinking of him like pushing into. Ugh. But yeah, that was the craziest thing. I saw Brock Lesnar use a tractor to upend an entire ring, but like that was the craziest thing I've seen all year. That busted titty.
Yeah, no, I completely agree so far. I think those are great. Especially that match. I mean, you think back to Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Like that was a huge moment. And that was an awesome match. Their Backlash match was fine. But it's like that first match and that last match they had, both easily contenders. Yeah, I don't watch
FTR versus Briscoes as well.
I'm not against checking out a match or two.
If you say it's like match of the year, maybe we'll watch.
Definitely.
Maybe. No promises.
I mean, I'll give it a quick YouTube. It's happening. Bless you.
You can't stop talking. Just keep talking while I sneeze. Oh no.
Anyway, I will definitely FTR versus Briscoes. I will definitely check that out.
NXT, I'll give it to Carmelo Hayes versus
Ricochet. I heard that was a good match.
Is Carmelo Hayes the same kind of like jumpy guy?
I'm not sure.
Acrobatic.
I hear he's on his way to the main roster.
Name a lot.
Yeah, I feel like in the new year we'll see him pop up at Raw or SmackDown.
His name's Carmelo Hayes. I kind of figured.
I think he's the one we saw in that clip where he was wrestling. It was an intergender match in the indie scene.
Yes. We got an intergender match recently.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley and
That's your
Akira
match of the
Tozawa,
year, just for progress.
which is great. I mean, I had a good time.
But going back to kind of some of my favorite matches of the year, Street Profits and the Usos. Really, the Usos doing anything.
Either of them, honestly, doing anything was great.
Yeah. It should have been me. It should have been me.
Seth Rollins, any of his matches.
Well, shout out to Seth Rollins for winning or being named Sports Illustrated's top performer of the year.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
Usos really don't get a break, and it's amazing how much they do and consistently deliver.
Yeah.
It's even crazy. their match with the Brawling Brutes. I was like, fuck, like y'all are all so talented.
It's like I don't know, I feel like they've earned the opportunity to be kind of like a Roman Reigns level, I'll wrestle once a month type of people. I mean, it's hard when you have the titles and they're unified, but like they're on TV like almost every week, match or not.
Right.
They could just be there with Solo, and they're there.
They were there last night.
It's crazy. They were there. They came out twice.
They're super kicking people all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. I think that they're underappreciated for like, I get that they're the champions, they're huge, they're the bloodline, but like they're workhorses. Like they don't stop. It's crazy. Like more so than any other. But
that match at Money in the Bank in particular was something incredibly special. You could even hear them talking about it on commentary. Like, holy shit! Like this match is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The SummerSlam match was really, really good too. But another one I think of, Gunther and Sheamus at Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think of actually Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. Mm-hmm. That was an awesome fucking match. Crazy finish with Solo Sikoa. I think of Bianca and Becky at both WrestleMania and SummerSlam of this year, not last year. I think those are solid. The women's ladder match between Bayley and Bianca Belair, also just badass.
Yeah.
We had. I remember Riddle and Roman Reigns had a match on SmackDown at one point this year. That was really fucking good.
Stop.
Oh, that's mean.
Not funny. Leave him alone.
Yeah, we had. I'm just trying to think of.
It's hard when there are fucking
every week,
like 15 matches a week. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, man, it's really hard to pinpoint. Because some of the ones I'm sure I'm thinking of matches from last year too.
Yeah.
A crazy match, and I think this match should get more love than it actually gets because of how fucking crazy. Going back to day one,
oh god,
when Roman Reigns had to he couldn't perform because he had COVID, and they had to on the fucking fly day of restructure the fatal 4-way into a fatal 5-way and incorporate Brock fucking Lesnar into that.
And then he won it.
I hate that Big E lost the title,
yes.
but like
that was crazy.
When that match wasn't supposed to happen,
yeah,
and they had a few hours, it seems like to do it. Yeah, that was nuts. And then they did the fatal 4-way the very next night.
Yeah,
and I think they did all their normal spots. Kevin Owens jumped off a fucking like balcony or something. It's crazy.
You're right. Yes, he did do that. Edge versus Balor.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Ooh, AJ Styles versus fucking Finn Balor at Survivor Series. That was a good one. The fucking War Games matches were the women's War Games match.
Yeah, those were cool because those are like I've never seen a match like that before.
Seth versus Roman at Royal Rumble. That was a good match. It ended in DQ, but I love the story. I really want to see that again. I want to see them. I just want, if anyone's going to take the titles off of Roman, I don't know. Could you imagine if it was Seth? Could you imagine the story they could keep doing with that?
Could you imagine the ego?
Oh my God.
The women's Royal Rumble match, not the men's.
Yeah, the men's was trash this year.
Hopefully redemption.
There were moments in it I liked. Bad Bunny showing up.
Yeah.
Hell, Shane McMahon showing up.
CM Punk versus MJF dog collar match.
I like MJF a lot. I actually do watch quite a few MJF clips. I'm not a fan of CM Punk.
Felly.
Huh?
Machine Jung Felly.
Yep, that's him.
When was that match where Ridge Holland broke his nose and Sheamus had to finish the whole match?
Oh my God, I think that was a kickoff. I think that was a kickoff match. I do think that was this year.
Whenever that was crazy.
Sheamus earned I think that was the start of his resurgence back to being super popular. When that
was insane.
Because Ricochet got a little zealous,
stepped on someone's nose. You know what? Ricochet's injured multiple people, including himself.
#, stop Ricochet.
He must be stopped.
His match against this just happened a couple weeks ago. From Legado del Fantasma. What's the guy's name? Taekwon, help me out.
Cruz? Was it the Cruz one?
Rogelio de la Cruz. Look it up. Look it up. From Legado del Fantasma. That's his old name. I need his new name. His WWE name. Are you surprised I knew that? Santos Escobar.
Santos Escobar.
Yeah. But yes, I think that was his old was that his name in NXT or was that his Lucha name from back in the day? From Lucha Underground. Anyway, that match for the SmackDown World Cup or whatever, that match was a fucking banger. That was a good ass match.
Another surprisingly good match.
Right.
Because we hadn't seen anything from Santos Escobar.
Well, in WWE, really.
Right.
So, but yeah, that match was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You should react to Lucha. I probably would like Lucha Underground. As we're kind of winding down, those are just a few matches that I think really deserve some love. I also think I would love to see more now that the dust is continuing to settle. Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. We might have to get more into New Japan and Stardom and all those folks if Miss Sasha Banks is going to be out there. But anyway, I hope that the women's division continues to get more and more love throughout. We've had some awesome matches, but no need to watch these. Damn. I'd love to see more come out of those matches, just because I feel like for all the strides they do make, they continue to not get they're from marks, not casuals. From marks. Isn't that a bad thing to call people? Anyway, but anywho, well, I think we're about wrapping up now. We've been on here a long time,
almost 2 hours.
But it was fun. It was cool.
It was fun.
Just kind of recapping what the year has been, and I look forward to we also, the biggest thing for us is we've kind of rebranded and restructured some of what we do here. I'm super excited to continue on with that. And now that this is kind of, we're kind of finding a good flow with this updated format, I should say. It'll be cool to see what we do in the future. It would be cool to do, I'm not promising anything because, we do the same thing. We do it's not like a huge difference, but it's just a matter of like really making sure everything is just like concise and clear and like its own thing. But we talk about all the same shit. You're right about that.
Yeah, but like from last year to this year, I feel like we've refined it a lot better. We've gotten better equipment.
Right.
We've gotten more regular viewers.
The two of you.
I feel more confident in like my editing for videos I put on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Stuff also, that like it doesn't necessarily translate to what you see, but on the back end. And
we also, our episodes aren't just we don't just do live streams anymore. We do, record like your everyday podcast. Mm-hmm. And we have a little bit more of a stricter time frame that we usually go. Like I said, this is a special instance.
Right.
So
and
anyway.
Like better just like work-life balance, because we both work full-time, like 40-hour-a-week jobs. It's very easy to be just not want to do anything else after you're done working. So finding that ratio of like actual work to living your life to hobby.
But in the new year, it'll be cool to continue to explore ways that we can continue to refine it and also just add to it. I talked about this last year, but I think I feel in a more confident place where I can actually do it in the new year. I have a lot of artist friends and a lot of, we know a lot of people who are into similar things. So I think it'd be cool to start bringing guests onto the show in some way, shape, or form, either on the podcast or if they could do it live, then it's cool too. But I think that might be something fun to play around with. And then, continuing to just grow our audience. That's something I'm really kind of looking forward to doing. So if y'all know anyone that might be interested, please share our stuff with them. Have them join in on the fun. But anyway, I think that's about it for us. I just want to say from us here at Perez Periódico to all of y'all watching either on stream or on YouTube or listening to this wherever you stream your podcast. Thank you for riding with us, and we wish you nothing but the happiest of New Year's, and hope that it brings forth a lot of prosperity and success for you.
Look at him.
Just wanted to say something nice for the people.
It was very nice. Unexpectedly nice.
Well, anyway, so that's it for us. Be sure to follow us on all of the various socials. We are on TikTok, Instagram, not Twitter. I always forget about that. Right here on Twitch as well as YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and I'm sure some other places that I'm not sure that our podcast is on. So please feel free to check us out. Share our podcast with your friends, family, loved ones, and your haters. Quite
maybe
honestly.
Not haters.
Well, maybe the haters will like it. I don't know. Anyway, have a happy New Year. Happy rest of your holiday. I think he's flirting with you.
Why am I being picked on? I wasn't even talking. And I'm getting picked on. Whatever.
All right. Well, we're going to head on out of here, and we will talk to y'all in the new year.
Bye.
Peace.